Well, I will be honest with y'all. I'm not sure I'm mentally ready yet to be talking about the next set of Flesh and Blood. It still feels like I'm chasing out my Dust Till Dawn cards, which is true because I actually am. But October is going to be here before we know it, and with it, the next set. We have news on Bright Lights, the 11th set of Flesh and Blood, an all-mech human augment-focused and robot-filled set, and a draftable one at that. There's a lot to be excited about for sure, so let's cover some of the specifics and why this set will be a major deal for limited play. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. More human than human, more human than human, more human. All right, that's enough of that. Welcome, everyone, to Dice Commando and Go Again, a Fabulous Cast, where we talk all things flesh and blood and sing horribly. But hey, I felt that the shout-out was appropriate for EVO Me Baby, the Bright Lights Big City 11th set Flesh and Blood. That's what we're talking about tonight, coming in October. And to be very clear, that's on timeline. It's as expected. It's just things move faster in the summer, and my pea-sized little brain, I guess, just can't wrap my head around the fact that there's more stuff coming out soon, because I feel like I don't have whatever, y'all get it. So what we're going to be doing tonight, I'm going through this, obviously you see PTI style, but look, this is Friday morning when this is coming out, and I'm well aware that the announcement came out, at least for me, came out Monday evening. The big news outlets had their stuff up, in 8.3 seconds, which is it's amazing. Like, shout out to those guys. But, you all can read. You all have seen other videos on it. So I'm not going to, it's generally the way we do it. I'm not going to tell you all can read. We're not going to go through the article blow by blow. Instead, I kind of want to give my takes on the whole thing. So I am overall excited, blasé, and then excited again about this set. This set has a lot of things going on with it that, in my opinion, are really kind of groundbreaking for Flesh and Blood, and I really like the way it's going. That said, I'm not personally excited, and again, I'm not saying you can't be. You should be if you are. I'm not personally excited about an all-mech set. I'm maybe even a little excited that, it looks like for me, this will probably be like a pump the brakes, like take the set off type of stuff. But then you know how it is. You see the cards coming out, I'm going to buy it. Right? That's what happened to me in Dust Till Dawn. I said, don't buy anything, and then I bought a case, and you all know how that goes. So, rambling aside, this is going to be, I think this is going to be really awesome, mainly because, let's just skip to the bottom. I love Jumpstart. So, we'll get there. All right, so quick recap. We have, again, I'm not going to read the article to you. Y'all can do that. But quick recap, right? So we have an all-mech set. And the reason, and it's draftable set. So the reason that that's kind of a big deal and a really smart move on their part is not having to worry about the class stuff is it's kind of mind-blowing in this game, really, when you think about it, because it's just something we haven't had before. And the infinite possibility, again, we don't know what's in the set and all that, but you can kind of extrapolate that, the infinite possibilities of, instead of having classes to fight over, well, people are going to be fighting over probably head slots and leg slots and arm slots and all that. Are you going to go mech? Are you going to go augment? Are you going to go big attacks? I don't know. Are you going to go the new crank mechanic, which you don't know what that looks like? A lot of really crazy ways to go here, and I'm really impressed overall with the take. Now, something else that's different this time around is really the way that they've approached the spoil of the set, kind of. We got the initial article, and there's heroes in there, and the heroes aren't blanked out, right? We have Tech Levasin, right? We have Tech Levasin, and we know what he does, and fits in kind of. Now, I still know what the barcode stuff does, which is weird, but we've basically got a pretty good picture of where this set is going. Okay, so let's go ahead and really start diving into that. So we have more than human, right? It's a whole section in their article that they talk about, and really what it means. I kind of say, mech or whatever, but really what you're doing is you're going to start with basic slots, basic equipment slots, And you're going to continue to upgrade yourself, or I suppose your hero in the context of this game, continue to upgrade your hero as the game goes on. And that's pretty neat. One of the things I do want to just go ahead and go through the product configuration. So 251 card set, which is, it's fine, right? I mean, it's pretty much right on par with what we've seen. We do have the standard 16 card packs. But what you see on the breakdown is 1 Fabled as normal, 7 Legendaries, that's normal. 46 Majestics is, I mean, it's actually less than the last expansion set, right? But I mean, it's draftable set, so that's probably right on par. So it looks like a pretty standard breakdown overall. But then you really start thinking about, you kind of go through the article and it talks about the number of items in the set, right? With 30 items in the set. That's actually under the crank it up section. I'll put a screenshot in later. And again, we don't know what the crank mechanic does, which is hinted, but one would have to assume it has to do something like when you boost it, play it. I mean, that's where my head goes. Well, again, we'll see. It's not really relevant. Now, the reason, when I say it's not really relevant, it's not really relevant to this discussion. It's certainly relevant to the set, okay? Now, when we go and we talk about More Than Human, the part that really gives me a lot of hints towards how this set's going to work is the fact that you have the proto-base arc, okay? So essentially everyone who shows up to draft, right? So proto-base head, for example, a player may add proto-base head to their card pool if it's Bright Lights limited format. So if you're drafting Bright Lights only limited, start with a head, a chest, an arms, and a legs. Did I skip one? Head, chest, arms, legs. No, I didn't. In play. So that's clearly a key point to the set. And obviously you're going to start with those because if you don't have them, then you basically can't play the set, or at least can't draft the set well, or play it in limited well, whatever it may be. And that, that there is another limited format. We kind of talked about the dump start thing. I think that's really telling a lot of how this set's going to go. And what's going to be interesting, kind of the overall sub theme of tonight is, or this cast is, it's going to be interesting to see how a set that seems to be very heavy limited, not necessarily focused. All right, let me retract that. It seems to be like limited play Dream, right? It'll be interesting how that translates into constructed, because typically it's hard to balance. Like it's either bad or it's like really good. Again, lots of faith in LSS, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so that's the More Than Human part, is your set's focused on upgrading your hero in whatever fashion it may be, right? So, for example, we have EVO's Soul Memory, right? So this is the obligatory spoiler stuff. If you have a base head equipped, transform it into this, then equip this. When this transform from or into an EVO with different name, your hero gets +1 intelligence until the end of the turn. Well, that's pretty cool, right? An extra card, right? So, and again, is this card good or not? Don't know, but it really sets the stage for a lot of things that I think are to come, the type of thing. Now, obviously, right, it's very traditional that, the different equipment pieces serve different purposes, right? Your arms, your head pieces give intelligence, your chest pieces give resources, your fists give, your hand pieces give attack or pumps or something like that, and typically your boots give action points. That's kind of the overall generic average breakdown. So you can kind of assume that this will probably track to that in some fashion, and this headpiece seems to track to that, and that's pretty neat. And then of course we have the Terminator tank, which really fits into the importance of doing what you're trying to do, which is upgrade. It's a little weird that the Terminator tank itself is an attack that goes off of the things you have upgraded, because it seems like a robot wouldn't necessarily care about that, but you can extrapolate to probably many other things within the set. And then of course, let's talk about Mr. Teklevasen. When you play an EVO from your banished, you may play EVOs from your banished zone once per turn instant for 3. You may play your next EVO this turn as an instant when you do draw a card. It's actually, card draw is not bad when you're doing what you want to do anyway. So again, you can really see how this set, I think they did a really good job in this article, kind of at least painting a picture without giving away too much, obviously, because there's still things we don't know, but painting a picture of what the set's going to do. Right, now let's talk about the all-mech set. So that really caught me off guard. I'll be honest, the first time I read the article, I didn't even really catch, I caught it, but I didn't really think about the implications of that. And the implications of it from a limited standpoint are really mind-boggling, right? I already kind of touched on a little bit because it's something I'm super excited about, but you're really changing up what we've come to accept in Flesh and Blood, that there's generics and then there's hero slot, or there's class slots, and you kind of have to align, and then, you know, you kind of play the field and then you align and you go deep. And I think this could really, really shake that up. Maybe for good, maybe for bad. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think probably for good, at least for change, right? At least for a change, and at least to be different. I think it's really cool. And the you know, the limited implications of that, not just for draft, but for sealed, or what we'll talk about next, the jumpstart thing, I think is pretty awesome. And I'm just going to go ahead and skip. I mean, the thing I'm most excited about is, as many of you who've been following the channel for maybe even longer than Flesh and Blood know, I really love the concept of Magic's Jumpstart, in which you buy, I think in their case, it's like a $6 pack or something. It's like a super pack, and then a super, maybe it's not even, maybe it's $8, whatever, I don't know. But you buy some like 30 card pack and a 30 card pack, and you smash them together and they become a deck, and then you play with that against your opponent. And what they're doing here is they're essentially creating their own jumpstart. Now, granted, they're doing it without a new product, but you really think about, again, how the all-mech set really feeds into that, because they don't need to worry about people pulling boosters and not getting enough to play any class or anything like that. This is the perfect environment for it. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm almost positive that I'm going to host, whether or not I can do it legally in an armory, because I was trying to follow the rules on that, I don't know. But we're at least going to do some on-demands or something where we do jumpstart stuff. Or, sorry, crack and play. Sorry, too focused on that. But you all pick up what I'm laying down, right? We're going to do that. I mean, 3 packs, they can walk in there, probably, what, $15 entry at your LGS. They're happy to sell you the 3 packs, give you the space, by and large. Seems awesome to me. It's kind of a quick sealed. And then to that point, and kind of to the above point, the pre-releases, which have traditionally been sealed deck, or sealed, where you get 6 packs, you're actually only doing 4 packs. So first, I would assume, we actually haven't gotten, as of the time of me shooting this, we haven't gotten our invite email for Ganga Games yet. I'm sure it'll come any minute now. But I'm hoping the price will drop on that, because typically it's been sealed deck, $30 US entry, and then there's not, by the time there's not a ton for pricing. So I'm hoping that it'll be a little lower. It should track to be about $20, right? Should be about in that range. So that's pretty exciting. And as long as you have a good enough, less, and you have just as good of a time, and probably Fab supplied prizes, it'd be awesome. All right, the last part that is interesting here is the expansion slot. So I want to make sure, I am going to read this because I want to make sure I'm getting the details correctly. But Bright Lights introduces the expansion slot, a new feature starting with this set. The expansion slot replaces token in 1 in 15 boosters, similar to how CFs have replaced a token slot, okay? Expansion slot cards are high rarity cards that either expand the story within the world, expand the tournament card pool, or key reprint cards. And they specifically call out that Tunic's being reprinted, which is much needed, absolutely much needed. The interesting thing here is, this can go either way. Fundamentally, I don't care either. Well, I care depending on how it goes, but I don't think this is a good or bad thing. It's just going to depend on what it is when the details come out, right? Because if these end up being non-legendary cards, and by that I mean cards, to be clear, not the rarity level, but legendary in terms of you can only have one in your deck, right? that creates a weird like playset type situation. You know what I mean? And 1 in 15 is like that's pretty. I mean, it's not uber rare, but you know, if you have to start getting multiple copies of them and everybody wants them, they're super playable. Could get out of you follow, right? It could get out of control pretty quick. So that's something I am concerned about, and we'll have to track that over time as it develops. But in summary, closing this out, this set looks really interesting. Again, I don't think I'm going to. I'm almost positive. Let's say it this way: I'm almost positive that 95% of my purchases on this set will be in the limited format, right? Because I'm very interested in, like, I will almost certainly buy a box and just have my friends jumpstart with it. Crack, play, right? That sounds really cool to me. I'm really excited about that. And I think you should be too. Again, not everybody likes everything the same way that I do. I get that and I respect that. But having those like pick up and play type things is really good for a game. It's really good for a game. And when you combine that with the fact that you can pick up and play, crack 3-packs, and effectively build robots or mechs, and then rock'em sock'em robots with each other, I think it's really cool. So I'm pretty excited to see this develop. Do want to put in context, if this is, so pre-releases are the last weekend in September. It is early August. It's August, like, what, 4th? So spoiler season's like 5 weeks away, maybe 6 weeks away, depending on how they do it. It's close. It's close. Like I said, I get it. If you're like me and you feel that Dusk Till Dawn just came out, I feel you. But this set, I think, is going to be really cool. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for hanging out here on Friday morning. Just chatting with me. I know this one's longer than normal, but just kind of wanted to go through new set and give my thoughts and share my excitement. And if you made it this far, give me something in the comments. Let me know you did. And if nothing else, folks, go Commando.